Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it.
Coaches, the JAMODI podcast is powered by Scoreboard Media. Scoreboard Media works with high schools across the country to run professional sponsorship programs on their LED scoreboards. Whether you already have LED and you just want to supercharge the revenue, or you want to use sponsorship revenue to buy new LED video scoreboards, Scoreboard Media can help. They work with sponsors and advertisers locally, regionally, and nationally who want to connect with your school's community. Email info@scoreboardmedia.com to start the conversation and see what's possible. The freedom to call timeouts in a practice. I've never heard of that before. Where'd that come from?
Just one day I thought about it and I thought,
see, you're a creator, and that creators I'm always a little envious of. I'm a borrower. I can borrow with the best of them, but I rarely create anything on my own. That freedom to call timeout.
Yeah.
There's so many great things with that, and I'm probably gonna borrow that because, in my opinion, that your players know you, and they know what the standards are, because when they know that some of those standards are slipping, communication, overall excellence within the drill, setting up and running a drill correctly, to me is one of the things that we once we've learned it, we have to do that really well. If we do that really well and mistakes are made and effort's high, we tip our hat and we continue through it. But if mistakes are being made because of the excellence of setting up the drills isn't there, they should know from my body language, or they should realize maybe what that does is it gives them the ability to use that word again, to zoom out and to see more. It's kind of like when you invite somebody to your church for the first time. You've been going there for a long time, but you invite them. When they're walking in with you, you suddenly notice everything that's happening in there. Oh, that's different. Oh, why is that out today? Why is that light shining? Oh, not that singer. Like, you notice all of these things that you probably don't care about when you go by yourself, because it's important to them. I think that's what that creates in them. And it then also gives you an opportunity for them to fix it. But like you said, you get to turn away, and one coach said, instead of just reacting, you get to respond. Reacting is emotional, respond is a choice. And your players get to do that, but so do you. And you get to maybe sidestep one of those moments that you probably regret as a coach. I think that's so great.
Yeah, I started this when I was at Bowie. I wish I had thought of it early, way sooner in my coaching career, but it maybe having my own kids made me more reflective on this. But I don't want basketball to define the relationship that I have with any of them. And I have two kids, two boys, and my oldest, we're empty nesters now, and by the way, my husband's a pastor, so we walking into church, I notice everything every Sunday. Oh no, he's preaching again. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
He's awesome. He's great. But when my oldest, he plays basketball at Texas State. When he was young, we were in the gym a lot together, and I was working with him like I did my own players. Just you got to use your left hand. If you don't use your left hand, you're never going to get to play. You want to play Division I basketball, it's never going to happen. And it was just this constant. And I remember one day, I think he was probably in maybe 6th grade. And he was born with a ball, by the way. He came out of the womb, ball in hand, pregnant during the season. He's been a gym rat since in the womb. But he came out. And anyway, he's about 6th grade. And we were in a workout one day. And I finally I took the ball, I put it down on the court, and I walked away. He's like, where are you going? I go, I'm done. We'll try again tomorrow. Like, see you tomorrow. No, please, please, please. Because he was arguing with me. I was arguing with him. And it just became this not pleasant interaction between the two of us. So we were allowing basketball to dictate everything about our day, and I wasn't willing to do that. And so it was around that time in practice one day, just feeling frustrated. I think that's the best word to describe how I feel sometimes on the court. I'm
Yeah.
frustrated because I've said the same thing literally a million times, and they're still doing or not doing the same thing for the millionth time. And I just paused for a minute and I brought the team together. I said, y'all, look, starting today from here on out, you have the freedom to call a timeout in practice. I don't care what's going on. If there was a consequence, it doesn't matter. At the point of the timeout, all is washed away, and we're going to start fresh. And it took them a while to utilize that timeout. It was probably a few weeks before they actually called one, but when they finally called their first timeout, it empowered them so much and gave them control of practice in a way that I never was able to achieve. And so, in a moment where things weren't going right, when things are going great, everybody's fine. But when things are not, and so think about in a game situation, if you start the game and you have a bad start and the other team goes up on you 10-0, and we're frustrated the rest of the night because we didn't do something right in the beginning, and we blow that timeout being frustrated, what do we really gain in the long run with our
Yeah.
kids other
Yeah.
than tell them we aren't really unconditional. We only love you when you do what we say. That's not fair. So, and then how Christ-like is that, right? So giving them that empowerment, it really has changed. It's changed me. It's changed them. Every team I've ever had, they have the authority to call their own timeouts. And so, and just stemming from, I really do think the interactions I had with my own kid in realizing that basketball is not going to define us. It is a part of our relationship, and we have very fond memories together because of that decision. And there were many times where I would put the ball down and walk away, but we came back the next day and we started over. So I don't have to do that with him anymore. It's really nice. we get good workouts now.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah.
You said something early on too that I didn't want to just blow by, which is the culture isn't just something you do at the beginning of the season, or it's not just one quote at the top of the practice plan. That it's not a slogan, it's not a poster, it's not something you even break out. Those are all parts of it, and there's nothing wrong with any of those things. But if that is all we're relying on, one talk or something like that, and it's not the thousand little things that you do and say throughout the year, then my thought was that some coaches may think, well, what would they call a timeout for? Like, what would they even know what to look for? I think if that's your worry, then you got to go back to your standards. Are they clearly defined? Do you talk about them often? Do you take pauses throughout your workouts to have culture moments? When you see something that, not just where it breaks, the culture breakers are important to discuss, hopefully before they break. Like, that's the best time to do that. But when the culture is upheld or it shows, man, pause that practice plan, waste 30 seconds to highlight that, because more is caught than taught. So the more that we are showing that, the more that others are catching it. But I think, like, if you're afraid, or if a coach is afraid that they won't know what to stop for, then they don't know what they're looking for. And if they don't know what they're looking for, then we have to reevaluate our culture. Is it really as strong as we think it is? Or do we just have a nice, and I'm all for slogans and themes and acronyms, but it's got to be something that they are actually looking for in the gym.
Oh, for sure. I think something that's unique too, when you talk about that, this morning, I keep talking about this morning because it was a rough morning, but they had weight room before school. It's a Monday. I don't know what it was about today. They were just, they go in the weight room with our strength coach and then they come to me. So they come in the gym and I'm just like, something is up today. It is. And I discerned this. I know this, but I stuck to my plan, right? We're going to get up and down a lot today. Like, we got to work on our press break. We're still working on some of our press. Like I got to see some kids still. I'm trying to figure out if they're going to be on varsity or not. Like we got to go. And we had an awful start. And then timeout, got better, but it just wasn't a great day. And I told them we brought it in the huddle, and I told them, you said take a pause when a culture moment happens, but also we have to have the knowledge on our own as a coach to pivot in practice. And I know what we're going to do all week. And I told the girls this morning. I said, I know the plans. I know what we need to have done. We're playing in a showcase on Saturday. I know what we need to get accomplished. You don't know every day of the week so far, but you know that today you were tired when you came in. You guys weren't locked in for whatever reason. Weight room might have been just extra strenuous. Things kind of upped a little bit because of the time of season we're in. Who's going to come to me and say, Coach, and this should have been somebody on the leadership team. This is a moment for a leadership team member to say, Coach, I don't know what you have planned today, but we're all just not feeling it. Can we pivot? Is there a different way? Because we don't have block schedule. Our practice is fast. Like, but I know that I can swap today and tomorrow, or I can swap Wednesday and today. Like I know we're going to be efficient. We always are. Like I can move it around, but they just reminding them of that. Because again, I've had some pretty strong voices graduate. So these kids are now trying to assert who's going to be that. And I said, you remember, you have the freedom to come and talk to me. The answer is always no if you don't ask. It's always no. So they were like, oh yeah, we forgot that you let us do that. Like it's just little reminders of things. But again, I'm building trust with them, and it's not fake. Like I mean it. I am whatever
It's
I'm
not
going to do
coach
today.
speak. Coach speak
No.
is easy to read, and it destroys trust and buy-in, in my opinion.
Well, and what are we going to do today in a 30-minute workout that's going to make or break our season? Like seriously. Seriously, do I
I know
have
we're
it all
that
figured
good. I know
out?
we're that good as coaches, but yeah, yeah.
If I can't make up 30 minutes somewhere. So I just remind him that. So I'm really proud of you guys, though. You use your timeout, you got it back together, which is there's gonna be days where we don't feel like playing. There might have been a hard test that day, or your brains are toast because of your workload, and we've got to find a way to get on the floor and figure it out. So I'm okay with how today went, but don't forget we can work together on this. This is our team, not my team. This is not my team. And so yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about that led to all that,
Well,
but
one thing I think that which you've been kind of gone into now is feel. And how do you learn, or how do you get feel with your team? Feel to how do you know what the gym needs? And Phil Beckner said you can't teach feel. And when he said that, I was like, oh, well, crap. Like, what if I don't
what do I
have
do?
it? Like, how do I get it? And it's not taught. It's something that you gain over time. Like you just have to fail a bunch. You have to come in, unfortunately, as a younger coach and hammer them when that's the last thing that they need. It's
Yeah.
and it doesn't work. And you learn from that. I think a great way to teach feel, or to learn feel, or to gain it, is to have those systems in place with your players. Have the kind of culture, the kind of environment where the quote feel is not real. Yes and no. I think, and then another. I'm going through all these cliche statements now in my head. They're running through. But another one I love is like, we teach the phrase "fake it till you make it," and I've said that before. If you say that, coach, too, like I get it. I'm probably never going to say it again, because I had a coach say that. How damaging is that? We're asking them to fake how they're feeling and to not acknowledge it and push past something. So that what that teaches them is, when your relationships are hard in your life, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
When you're going through something really tough and you need to talk to somebody, fake. So instead of that, he said, never again. We're going to face it till we make it. We're going to have tough conversations, and we're going to get this stuff out in the open with our team. And I think that's a way that, if that type of environment, we can have feel where something's up in the gym. I'm going to find out for sure, and I'm totally fine. the almighty practice plan. I'm totally fine with changing something up. But I think that's a really good point, Coach.
Yeah. And there's been times where I thought something was up and it wasn't, and this hasn't happened yet this year. This group just comes in, they really ready to work every day. Today, I think that's why even for me today, I'm still learning the personality of this team. It's not even a complete team yet, and I'm just like, something was off and I knew. But last year, I pulled a kid over and I was like, hey, I'm already feeling this vibe when you guys came in. What's going on? They're like, no, coach, we're fine. It's all good. We're ready to go. I think they just had come in with a different mindset that day. I don't know. But sometimes we're wrong. That's why it's just having trust and communication, two monumental pieces, in my opinion, of our gym.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.